What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Prince of YouTube, PS Compulsion, signing in here, aka that 22-year-old kid with the light, squeaky voice that you know and love, aka Prince Anthony. And today is my 22nd birthday, October 7th. Ah, man, I'm 22 years old and my voice is still light as hell. I still sound like a bitch. But before I get into this episode, I gotta tell you guys, thank you for all the love and support. I love each and every single one of you guys. You guys are like my family, bruh. As a matter of fact, you guys are my family. But anyways, getting into this episode, as you guys know, I relocated the Orlando Magic from Orlando to Louisville. So now we're going to be known as the Louisville Magic. And getting into the offseason, looking at the player retirements, Paul Pierce has finally retired from the NBA, along with Manu Ginobili, Jason Terry, Andre Miller, Mike Miller, Richard Jefferson. Some pretty good NBA players retired, but only one NBA player made it into the Hall of Fame, and that was Paul Pierce. It's well deserved. He does deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, but I also feel like Ginobili deserved to be in the Hall of Fame as well. But since he didn't get into the Hall of Fame, they ended up retiring his jersey, so both Paul Pierce and Ginobili got their uniforms, well, their jersey numbers retired by their respective NBA teams, the Boston Celtics and the San Antonio Spurs. But on to the league meetings. My league expansion to add the Las Vegas Royals and the Cincinnati Lions were both denied at first, but I override it and I made them approve my two new teams that's going to be added into the NBA. And in addition to that, I also approved a new rule in the NBA that will change the time the offense is given to advance the ball to the front court. At first it was 8 seconds. You guys will get an 8-second violation if you don't bring the ball to the front court in 8 seconds, but now it's going to be 10 seconds. So now instead of an 8-second violation, you got 10 seconds to bring the ball to the front court, or else violation. But looking at our staff, I hired a bunch of new staff. You guys know my motto when it comes to the staff: hire the best available. So our new head coach is going to be Rick Carlisle, and our assistant coach, I decided to get Paul Pierce. He just retired. He just made it into the NBA Hall of Fame. He just got his jersey number retired. So why not bring him in to help develop the young players on the Louisville Magic? Come on, that's perfect right there, bro. That's perfect. But anyways, on to the expansion draft for the Las Vegas Royals and the Cincinnati Lions. Both teams got some pretty good players. Scal is going to Las Vegas. If you guys haven't watched my first Las Vegas Royale series, Scal was on our team. He was a big part of our team. And now in this series, he's going back to Las Vegas. But anyways, on to the NBA draft. I made one of the biggest mistakes ever. Look at this trade. I had the 29th pick in the NBA draft, but I traded that pick along with DJ Augustine for Kent Bazemore, right? And that trade is gonna come back to haunt me later on in the video. But taking a look at the NBA draft, the Lakers had the number 1 pick, the Knicks had number 2, the Miami Heat had number 3. So the Knicks didn't even make the playoffs in this MyLeague. That's saying something. If my Knicks do not make the playoffs in real life, I swear that I'm gonna cry. I'm really gonna cry. But checking out my pending options, I'm gonna pick up the team options on Peyton's contract, Mario's contract, and of course Aaron Gordon, the slam dunk champion. So of course I had to pick up the team option on his contract. But taking you guys to free agency, take a look at all of these sexy ass players that we could have on the Louisville Magic. We could have Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Chris Paul, Blake Griffin. I could offer Kyle Lowry a contract, Steven Adams, Rondo. We got Iggy. We got my man Derrick Rose, Rudy Gay, and the list goes on and on and on. And here's where that trade messed me up earlier. Making that trade for Kent Bazemore messed up my salary cap room, and I wasn't even paying attention to it because I didn't expect it to have so much good free agents available. So now check this out. Bismack Biyombo got a $17 million contract. Kent Bazemore got a $16 million contract. Vucevic got a $12 million contract. Fournier got a $17 million contract. Like, what the hell? 4 players on our team have huge contracts, and because of those contracts, I only have $18 million in cap space, meaning I'm going to have to trade somebody. somebody's gonna have to get traded. So I decided to go ahead and trade Kent Bazemore, and the only way I was able to trade Kent Bazemore was that I had to go into the options and disable the restriction they had on trades, because once you trade a player once, you're not able to trade them again for like 60 days. So now with that option out of the way and disabled, I went ahead and traded Kent Bazemore to the Miami Heat for Josh Richardson, who is a great 3-point shooter, and Josh McRoberts. And then I'm gonna go ahead and trade Josh McRoberts for a draft pick from the Indiana Pacers. But the only reason why I disabled that option is because that option shouldn't really apply during the offseason, especially when a player hasn't played at least one game with the team. I don't think that trading option should even be enabled. So I went ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and keep that option disabled only for this MyLeague series. I'm gonna keep it on my GM series. I don't really care too much about it on my GM series. I could tough it out on the GM series because it's not the off season. But going ahead to free agency with all this sexy cap space that I now have, I went crazy. I was offering contracts left and right. You get a max contract. You get a max contract. You want on the team? You get a max contract. But nah, I really wanted a star player to come to the Louisville Magic. I just need one star player to sign with this team, and we are going to be on our way to an NBA championship. I offered Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Chris Paul contracts, Kyle Lowry, and the list goes on and on. But look at this BS. Stephen Curry and Kevin Durant decided that they are not going to sign with us. They are going to stay with the Golden State Warriors. But Patty Mills and Caldwell Pope did agree to sign with my team, and because I don't think I would get any star players during free agency, I went ahead and signed both of them, and I was right. Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, and Kyle Lowry also stayed on their respective teams. Chris Paul staying with the Clippers, Blake Griffin staying with the Clippers, and Kyle Lowry re-signed with the Toronto Raptors. So I was unable to get myself a star player here in the offseason, so I just settled for some role players. I re-signed Jeff Green and Serge Ibaka, so they're going to be returning to the Louisville Magic. I also signed Shabazz Muhammad and Gerald Henderson using my mid-level exception, and in addition to those two players, I also signed Norris Cole using the mid-level exception. So I did get a couple more role players, and the team is very young. But taking you guys to training camp, I sent Caldwell Pope to perimeter shooting training camp, I sent Aaron Gordon to big man offense training camp, and I sent Evan Fournier to perimeter defense training camp. So since I failed terribly in the offseason, I had no choice but to develop my young players. I really have no choice right about now. But we do have like a week off before our first game, and our first game is going to be at Portland against Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, and the Portland Trail Blazers. But before I show you guys our roster, I decided to move Caldwell Pope to the small forward position because he's going to be playing a lot of small forward. He is going to be our starting small forward, because I don't want to start Jeff Green, so I need him in the starting lineup, and I also want Evan Fournier in the starting lineup, so I just changed his position to small forward, and I'm going to have Fournier play the shooting guard position. So looking at our starting lineup, Patty Mills at the point, Evan Fournier at the 2, Caldwell Pope at small forward, Aaron Gordon at the power forward, Vucevic at the center position. Then coming off the bench, we got Jeff Green, Serge Ibaka, Bismack Biyombo, Josh Richardson, and Elfrid Payton coming off the bench. And then some other role players that I might throw into the game every now and again. Maybe Norris Cole, Gerald Henderson, Muhammad, and maybe Mario. Maybe. So this is now the first ever roster of the Louisville Magic. And to be honest, the roster isn't that bad. But to be honest, I really wish that I could have got Chris Paul to come to the team or something, because Patty Mills is more of a backup point guard, and the same thing for Payton. I just feel like, I don't know. I just feel like I could get a better point guard to run the show, and if I had a better point guard, the team would be 10 times better. But nonetheless, this is your Louisville Magic. Our first game is up next against the Portland Trail Blazers. We won't be playing at home for our first game, but you could best believe that that game is still going to be lit. But anyways, comment in the comment section below. Tell me what you guys think about the team, the roster, and what trades you guys want me to make or anything of that nature. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like I said, this is the Prince of YouTube, aka Prince Anthony, aka the birthday boy, aka the 22-year-old kid with the light squeaky voice, signing out. Let's go Louisville.